Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation promotes, preserves, and perpetuates music, culture, and heritage through programs, cultural, educational, and economic activities year-round. Learn more at jazzandheritage.org.
Peggy Scott Laborde, and Happy New Year, and welcome to Steppin Out with updates from the local restaurant, arts, and entertainment scenes. Joining me, Poppy Tucker, host of Louisiana Eats on WWNO Radio. Hey, Miss Poppy, hi there. He's back, Doug MacCash, yay, who covers the arts and culture scenes for the Times-Picayune, the New Orleans Advocate. Love the tie.
Thank you.
Hello, hello. And from afar, musician, producer, songwriter, artist, David Treadway. Hello, David. All the way from Arizona right now, but he's originally from New Orleans. And he has recently released a song that he and R&B legend Art Neville did in the 90s that was thought to be lost. Welcome, David. Hello. And also with
Hi,
us,
Peggy.
Hi. And also with us, Alan Smason.
Go Green Wave,
yeah. Editor of the Crescent City. That's right. Jewish News and TheaterCriticism.com. Hi.
Hey.
Hey. And welcome. And you just got back from a trip. Welcome back. Poppy, it's just about king cake time.
It is just about your favorite time of year, and I kind of like it too, frankly. It's Mardi Gras time, and it is all getting started tonight. So everybody who's watching us, tonight at 9 o'clock, you can head over to Zony Mash when King Cake Hub is holding their first ever coronation ceremony for Hub royalty, and it's all taking place there at Zony Mash starting at 9 o'clock tonight. And you know, of course, that was it's such an incredible effort. You know, King Cake Hub started in 2019 with our dear friend Will Samuels.
Absolutely. And
sadly, we lost Will in September of Look, there you are with Will. I think that must have been at the mortuary that first year.
I think so. Yeah.
And sadly, really tragically, we lost him in 2021. But his wife, Jennifer, and his daughter, Livia, are just rolling on with the whole program in such a brave and big way. And of course, last year they were at Zony Mash. They're back there this year. This free party that starts tonight at the Zony Mash tap room at 9. Professor Carnival will be there. Grand Marshal Mardi Gras will be there. The El Lucha crew will be there. The Sassy Racks and the Voulez crew. Zony Mash is going to release their 2023 King Cake Stout. Southern's food truck will be there, and on stage performing will be Soul Project. This is free tonight. At midnight, they're going to cut the cake. And then, so the eating can begin. And tomorrow, the fun starts at 8:30 in the morning with Josh Saxton playing in the beer garden. Hey Coffee and Papa's Donuts will be serving up. And there's going to be more than 70 king cake varieties and from different places. From places you know, like Gambino's and Gracious and Canadas and Nolita and other more obscure places, open every day till Lundi Gras, 8:30 in the morning until 6 o'clock at night. And again this year, there's going to be a French Quarter hub at the historic New Orleans Collection gift shop. And that's going to all kick off. They're going to have music too tomorrow morning at 9:30. And I'm just so ready. And boy, are our friends at Brennan's ready. I think you can tell from the king cakes. So here's the dilemma, Peggy. I mean, are we going to eat these when the show is over? It's not midnight. But the collection here, of course, they do the traditional.
And first up, we have our little pink one.
The pink parade. And the pink parade is Louisiana strawberries and Creole cream cheese.
You can smell it.
What a great value Valentine, because Valentine's is going to fall during Mardi Gras this year. And so then there's the traditional. This is the Bananas Foster king cake. Seems like a natural. And then, of course, there's the traditional. These are all available at the King Cake Hub. You can also order online for shipping nationwide. However, if you want that pink parade, it doesn't ship. So you've got to get one locally. And this year, you can get them at all Langenstein's locations, at Zappardo's, at Robert's Fresh Markets, Congregation Coffee in Algiers, Aquistapace, the Fina Shop, that lovely dress shop that's in Metairie and Lakeview, and of course, King Cake Hub. So it's time, Peggy. Let's let the king cake eating begin.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Poppy. And let me just say, Doug, I am not one for New Year's resolutions, but when I read your article about essential New Orleans experiences, I thought, well, let's pick a few, pick some of your favorite to suggest that maybe during 2023, have your little staycation, be a tourist in your own hometown. Please to begin.
Excellent idea. Last month we did a project. Everybody's got their essential New Orleans things, and I made my list of 50, and it was fun to do, and it's immediately an argument. It's great. It's like, you missed this, or you're dead wrong about that. And it's fabulous. So let me give you a few, and why I consider them an essential. We drink differently here than they do elsewhere. We do. And for that reason, I declare drinking a hand grenade cocktail to be an essential New Orleans experience. It was invented in about 1985. The novelty cup, the plastic novelty cup, blends perfectly with our walking drinking culture. It is a walking advertisement, and if you've been on Bourbon Street lately, you can see it created a whole culture of walking around with long plastic cups, a whole custom. So go drink a hand grenade cocktail. Go see Big Frida. Big Frida's a big star, but here's the wonderful thing about Frida, is that every show I've ever been to, probably, sometime in the midst of the show, Frida invites anybody who wants to come up on stage and dance. Everybody twerks for 5 minutes on stage. And I just love that, because in New Orleans, we can get close to the stars, right?
That's
true. In New Orleans, we eat horrible stuff. And one of the most horrifying things we eat is the fried soft-shell crab. Oh, yeah. I mean, we eat them. They look like something that wanted to eat Sigourney Weaver, right? And we eat other horrible things. We eat raw oysters, and we eat boiled crawfish, and I think that distinguishes us
They
for
might
eating
be scary, but they're not horrible.
They're horrible, Poppy. We love our own flaws. Everybody's got potholes. Does anybody love potholes as much as we do? We have embraced them. We've made them into costumes. We've made them into a Mardi Gras crew, and we have decorated them seasonally with Christmas decorations, Halloween decorations, and I think that indicates how we're comfortable with our own deficits. And last, and this one's perfectly serious, we are the art costuming capital of the country, if not the world,
For
right?
sure.
And the thing to do, if you've never done it, is go to Super Sunday and see the Black Masking Indians, the Mardi Gras Indians march. It is one of the great art exhibits anywhere in the world. What other American art form combines garment design, fine craft? The bead mosaics are just incredible. A unique musical tradition, stylized street performance, and a complicated cultural heritage. It is a mind blower that we kind of take for granted.
This is what I'm going to do. Let me tell you, okay, because I want people to see that the whole article. The link to it's a little lengthy, so if you email me at plaborde@wyes.org, I will send you the link to Doug's entire story and have you back again sometime to talk more from your list. Okay?
There you go.
But now, since 'tis the almost season, okay, we're on the cusp. Doug, you have a relatively new book out.
I do. And thanks for letting me talk about it. This
Sure.
was such a pleasure to do. LSU Press asked me to write a book about the...
Hold it up, Dahl, and hold it up. Okay, there you go.
LSU Press asked me to write a book about the history, the culture of Mardi Gras beads, because they are one of the symbols of Louisiana. And it was a wonderful project to do. It was, I learned, I had no idea what I was going to find out. And I would argue that they're right. Mardi Gras beads are maybe New Orleans' #1 symbol. I would say even above Jackson and St. Louis Cathedral and the fleur-de-lis and the jazz player with the horn and like that, because it's so singular. Where else can that be? So I'm with them, and I believe that. And in this little book, these are things that I found out. I mean, I had no idea.
And we've got some photos of beads coming too.
Yeah. Readers will discover beads were first thrown. We can be sure because it's in the newspaper. Beads were being tossed before 1912, 10 years earlier than we thought they were. So that's interesting. In 1947, the most patriotic of Mardi Gras, the first Mardi Gras after World War II. This is just one of those great historical ironies. Practically all Mardi Gras beads were made by once and future enemies of the United States. They were made in Germany, in Japan, in what had been Czechoslovakia that sided with Germany, and Czechoslovakia that would become part of the Soviet bloc. And I just think that's one of those.
And that's how New Orleans children learned how to spell Czechoslovakia.
Yeah.
Beads said made in Czechoslovakia.
Right, exactly. Some glass beads were radioactive. I did not know that. There you go.
Okay.
And they still glow to this day. I've got some. They're great. You put black light on them, they glow green. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. How about that?
Okay.
They're supposed to be perfectly harmless. Don't worry about a thing. Flashing for beads. It happens. Began in 1976, or not. And it was boys and girls doing the wrong thing.
Okay.
There's an ad advertising glass beads that tells you these are not those tawdry plastic beads. In 1953. How about that? So plastic was around much sooner than I would have expected. Endymion, their motto is throw until it hurts, right? So, formed in 1967, Endymion President Dan Kelly estimates that New Orleans crews spend between $40 and $50 million on throws every year.
All right.
How about that?
Thank you. Wow,
Yeah.
some good factoids here. All right.
Lots of fun
stuff. And I know
stuff.
you have a book signing. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yes.
Okay. But moving on to David. Hello, David.
Hi, Peggy.
Hey. Well, tell us the amazing story of the song that we're going to play for everybody.
The missing song. This song was recorded in 1995. We called up our friend Eric Cobb. He was working with the Neville brothers at the time, and he was the Neville brothers and Art Neville's keyboard technician. And he said, "Man, I'm setting up his studio. We're setting up his home studio, and we're getting all this equipment. Why don't you come on in and we'll play. We'll record a couple songs." You know, he said, "Pick 2 songs and we'll record them." Sure enough, we go in and record, and Art came in and heard what we were recording and said, I want to be on the track. And he loved it, and it was really exciting, and everyone knew that it was something special. And I'm just glad that I do have what I do have.
Yeah.
I was given all the master tapes.
Yeah, and this is early sort of home video. But let's take a look at it now. A clip from David's music video of the song, Ain't It Funny? David, of course, that's you. Wow. And this is where it, of course, is available on Amazon Music Channel Unlimited, Amazon.com, and of course go to on Apple Music and DavidTreadway.com. So it's all over. And if you can't remember that, just go to DavidTreadway.com. But David, that's you with the headphones singing, huh?
Yeah, that was me in the studio. That was Art in there singing. And like I said, I didn't even know I had a digital master, and I was blessed because again, I lost everything in Katrina. All the tapes were ruined. So we were lucky enough to find this digital on a CD, and it was a gift from beyond from Eric Cobb. And I wanted to release it to the world, and we released it on Art Neville's birthday.
Oh, wow. I saw that the music video already has over 20,000 hits. That's incredible. That is incredible.
Yeah, we're excited.
I mean, not worthy.
Art was a legend.
I mean, that's got to be.
Yeah, Art's a legend.
And so, of course, that's available. Now, tell us what you do. You travel around. Tell us about your life these days.
Well, I'm an engineer and a producer, and Dr. John said something that told me what Didymus told him. He said, if Bob Dylan can do it, and Sonny and Cheryl can do it, and he was talking about Sonny and Cher, and he said, you can do it. And I thought, you know what? He's right. I could do it. So I put out my own record. So that's where we are. Now we're touring around, just enjoying life, living, because life is short.
Yeah, you and your wife and your dogs, I understand. That's great.
It. That's it.
That is great.
That's it. We're so living
glad
it up.
You're with us. Yeah, congratulations, though. And we'll come back and hear from you towards the end. But really, congratulations. This is a very exciting news, to say the least.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, and thanks again for having me.
Absolutely. And moving over to Mr. Allen.
Well, I have to start, sorry to say, on the report on the passing of a noted member of the New Orleans theatrical community as well as public relations community. I first met Carrie Alden when she worked with me at WSMB Radio back in the late 70s. And through the years, she worked in public relations for a number of hotels, including the Old Fairmont, now, of course, again, the Roosevelt, the Winter Court. She did public relations for a number of different houses, featured performer on stage and on TV as a host. More recently, she had been in charge of the press relations for Rivertown Theater. She was a great friend. We will sadly miss her.
And she's such a nice person.
Yes.
She's just a really sweetheart and good actress.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah. And we talk a lot of times about what was going on at Rivertown, so some of the stuff I could share, some of the stuff I cannot. Meanwhile, there are two big openings coming up next week. I want to let everybody know. We start off with some rehearsal pictures. We don't normally get rehearsal photos, but first of all, The Color Purple, directed and choreographed by Donald Jones Jr., is going to be opening up next Friday officially, but Thursday night they're having a preview. So Friday the 13th, hopefully a good lucky number for them. Here we see Brianna Collier and Taylor James, who play Celie and Nettie. Anthony Bean Community Theater, you may remember, debuted The Color Purple back in 2015. This will be the first time, though, for Le Petit Theater. And then you prepare your funny bones because Ricky Graham and Gary Rucker co-direct and co-star in A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum by Stephen Sondheim at Rivertown Theater's Performing Arts. Included in the cast will be a number of young actors as well as veterans like David Hoover, Kyle Dagrapont, and Chrissy Bowen. We look forward to seeing that. Meanwhile, Intramural Theater, a group of people who started up a few years ago. They're presenting an entirely original work. This will be starting up next week called Cave, and it's about a sentient cave that communicates with a team of explorers. I think that's pretty much the sense of what you got there. The work will be presented indoors. They like to present a lot of stuff outdoors, but it's going to be at the Backyard Ballroom on St. Claude Avenue. Please note, this is a very long link, which is Intramural Theater /ticketspice.com/cave. And if you got that, you'll get tickets there. A reminder, Peggy, once again, that this is the 50th anniversary tour coming up of Jesus Christ Superstar. That tour will be at the Sanger this coming week, and it's got a 6-day stay, so you have no excuse for missing it. I should have a review on this for next week. And also, it's not too early to start thinking about the Sanger Theater because coming up in February, Tina, the Tina Turner musical, will be here. It, of course, was nominated after winning a bunch of awards in London, Olivier Awards. Awards. It was nominated for 10 Tony Awards, winning one for its star, Adrienne Warren. So you may want to check out Tina, the Tina Turner musical. And finally, last month's tour that I had on my NOLA Theater talk show, the Museum of Broadway, was so full that I had to literally pull the plug on the show after we got to about an hour, and I announced that we would have a part 2. So we will have part 2 coming up. Literally, we're going to pick up from the 1960s with Hair, and that's where we ended, and we're going to pick up and go all the way through to modern times. I'm calling it From Hair to Hamilton. Here's some of the things you're going to see. Among them, a dress from the original Annie, worn by one of its stars, an Al Hirschfeld caricature for the producers, which he had actually addressed to my mom, which has a room of its own at the museum, the producers, and of course the iconic costumes worn by Lin-Manuel Miranda and Philippa Sue as Alexander and Eliza Hamilton. And the best part about that was I got to send a picture of the producers that they have on the wall of the museum to Katie Huffman, who's a good friend of mine, and she says, I've worked with that woman. So
Very good. Thank you so much, Alan. And in kicking off the picks of the week, a few WYES notes. Last week, we talked about Chef Leah Chase's 100th birthday, which would be Friday, this Friday, January 6th. In honor of that, WYES, and there happens to be a picture, I found that the other day, so I had to, of course, share that too. But in honor of that, we are rebroadcasting the 2017 WLAE documentary, Leah Chase, The Queen of Creole Cuisine, produced and directed by Bess Carrick and narrated by Michelle Miller. It airs Friday night at 9 p.m. and again Saturday afternoon at 5 here on WYES. It will be followed by an exclusive preview of our upcoming cooking series, WYES cooking series, The Doogie Chase Kitchen, Leah's Legacy. And on Monday is a documentary profiling New Orleans sculptor Angela Gregory. Here's a promotional spot.
Angela Gregory was a 20th century Louisiana sculptor who made an impression across the world. Angela did 8 of the 22 profiles outside of the Louisiana state capital.
Angela is one of the most important early artists of the 20th century.
Angela Gregory, a legacy chiseled in stone.
This program will be broadcast on Monday, January 9th at 9 p.m. and then January 14th at 5 p.m. and the 15th at 10 p.m. You can see it on WYES, WYES.org, and on the WYES and PBS apps. All righty, my picks. Friday is 12th night, January the 6th, announcing the beginning of the carnival season are the Funny 40 Fellows who will board the St. Charles streetcar from the Willow Streetcar Barn, gathering at 6:30 and departing at 7 p.m. Go to funny40fellows.com for a route map, but it's the streetcar route going down St. Charles to Canal and coming back up around. In the quarter, the medieval walking procession, the crew of St. Joan of Arc, will begin at 7 p.m. Go to joanofarcparade.org for a map of their route. Really going to be fun. And your picks, Poppy.
Well, of course, tomorrow would be our dear friend Leah's 100th birthday. And so they're celebrating at Doogie Chase Restaurant with a big gala tomorrow night. But on Saturday, the Chase family and the Hayward family of Camellia Beans celebrates these two icons turning 100, because Camelia's 102. From 11 until 1, the Chase family and the Haywards will be giving out red beans and rice outside at Doogie Chase and other products too. And then on Sunday, if you can't get enough king cake, the Friends of St. Alphonsus is holding their annual king cake extravaganza Sunday from 2 until 4 at the Pito House.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, I went last year. It was great. It was quite a variety, too. All right, thank you. Doug.
I get to promote myself.
Yay!
Please come to the Hubble Library at 6:30 on
Algiers Point.
in Algiers Point on Tuesday, and we're going to talk about Mardi Gras beads.
right.
Things will be revealed.
Okay, thank you. All right, David, your website, one more time.
Yes, ma'am. You guys can get some really strange merch at davidtreadway.com.
I love it.
T-shirts and CDs and stuff. It's all available digital. That
They-
Ain't It Funny song could be heard on any digital platform.
All right. Thank you very much. Alan.
Peggy, the legendary Walter Wolfman Washington was laid to rest yesterday, and one of the truly great blues artists out of our city. In honor of Walter, and to help defray some of the costs of his funeral, Tipitina's is presenting a tribute concert on Sunday evening. It's a tribute to Walter Wolfman Washington, and it'll star the Roadmasters, that's his own group, of course, and then Leo Nocentelli of the Meters, John Cleary, Mem Shannon, a great bluesman in his own right. Go check it out, please, and I'll see you at the theater.
Okay, thank you. And just some final picks. Uncle Wayne Daggerpont, that pianist, comedian, and raconteur, will perform at the Bistro Orleans on West Esplanade. That's this Saturday evening starting at 5:30. And author Wayne Flint will discuss and sign his new book, Afternoons with Harper Lee, on Tuesday at 6 p.m. at the Garden District Bookshop at the Rink. Looking ahead on Friday, January 13th, the Crew of Stars will hold their annual Masquerade Show Ball with dinner, dancing, and entertainment, including Becky Allen and Al Carnival Time Johnson. There will be 5, as you see them, queens. All of them are community activists, including Bonnie Brohl and Margarita Bergen in that photo. The returning monarchs are Margaret Orr and Eric Paulson. They'll be there. And for tickets, just go to crewofstars.com. By the way, the captains are Carl Mack and Marshall Harris. Well, thank you all so very much.
Yeah, it was fun.
And thank you very much for watching. Good night.
New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation promotes, preserves, and perpetuates music, culture, and heritage through programs, cultural, educational, and economic activities year-round. Learn more at jazzandheritage.org.